Hey, thanks for joining me. Hope you're doing well. Myths and legends are not just stories, they are reflections of deeper psychodramas within ourselves. This is why, for the past year and a half on this channel, we've been reviewing various allegories, mythologies, and cosmologies, which are now fusing together and revealing to us the center of our plane and its projection we have collectively participated in. We are about to see with 2020 vision. This means we will no longer be caught up in the dualistic conditions which have materialized as an energy extraction matrix. This is not real. It's been a temporary prison. The cycle of birth and death is about to end, and we've been experiencing this in order to ascend up the cosmic world tree. The Norse myth of Odin losing his eye is an allegory representing exactly this. It's said that Odin sacrificed his eye in order to gain the wisdom of the ages. Odin's quest for wisdom was never ending, and he was willing to pay the price. So, on one occasion, he ventured to the Well of Urd. These are the sacred waters of Asgard, amongst the roots of the world tree Yggdrasil. When Odin arrived at these waters, he asked the fountain keeper Mimir for a drink. The well's guardian, knowing the value of such a draught, refused unless the seeker offered an eye in return. Odin gouged out one of his eyes and dropped it into the well. Having made the necessary sacrifice, Mimir now offered the now one-eyed god a drink. This story reveals to us what is happening in reverse. As we talked about in my videos on the projection system, and based on the very macro and microcosmic nature of toroidal fields, we are the living souls who never even left the center. We've been experiencing a temporary construct in order to ascend back to a unified consciousness. We've been funneling through time into what seems like these outer lands in order to gain the eyes to see, metaphorically losing our Odin's eye in order to gain the wisdom of the ages. We're remembering backwards who we are in order to ascend up into Hyperborea, into a higher state where we will no longer struggle in a dense material world. Having made the necessary sacrifice of splitting ourselves into dualistic conditions and paid our debt for such great knowledge, we will soon be able to drink from this sacred well, which we talked about in my last video on the living waters and the 144,000. Wisdom requires sacrifice. Like Odin, we blinded ourselves intentionally. It is the same thing as Eve eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. We did this to remember who we are. And this is why the well's keeper Mimir translates to the rememberer. This is the realization we've all been waiting for, and it's happening because the black and white sun are merging together. They will soon be as one. This is representing the blending of our dual condition and retrieving our long-lost unified homeland. The true reason we see the so-called elite, celebrities, politicians, musicians, cover one of their eyes is because they are mirroring to us the state we have been in. The secret is simple. We've disconnected from the God within, our Odin's eye temporarily removed. It's not evil. They are an expression of your shadow mirroring back to you why you came here. We are the eternal living souls of the Black Sun, and we do not consent to this construct of duality any longer. We have done our time in Father Time. We've died and been born, experiencing pain and joy, but once the two suns fuse, we will automatically be transported back to Hyperborea, our hearts connected with the goddess of the earth. Blood over intent is the key. How this works is dictated by the geometric structure of a toroidal field. Your heart is the center of your being, the microcosmic projector of your aura. Similarly, the heart of the earth, the center, is the macrocosmic projector of all of us. We are using what our heart pumps each and every day, our blood, in order to seal our names into the book of life, by using our collective intent to dissolve what seemed to be a world we were trapped in. Both the earth and the heart contain the same geometric field for a reason. It's because we are unified. In my last video, we briefly touched on the myth of Persephone and Hades, representing what happened to the goddess energy we're all aspects of. This myth has parallels in the Egyptian myth of Osiris and Isis. Osiris, like Hades, was said to be the ruler of the underworld, and his wife Isis, a mother goddess. Osiris was dismembered by his brother Set, but Isis put him back together again. Osiris was once a god of the underworld, but came to represent the renewal of life. Isis is the Egyptian analog of the mother goddess, which is nothing less than the living soul's heart energy, existing micro and macrocosmically as a placeholder for our inevitable return to the heart. Osiris, the lord of the dead, was reborn, the same way that the children of the Black Sun will be reborn. Once we are resurrected from this illusion, this underworld, the green rays of Hyperborea will regenerate us, just like Isis put Osiris back together. The green rays of our hearts are opening automatically, no work required. In the age of duality, of separation, spirituality was seen as separate from our seemingly dense physical condition. The black sun, which is the primeval engine of our subconscious, was separate from the white sun, and therefore we thought of everything as black and white, night and day, spiritual and not spiritual. But this whole construct is a toroidal projection system. It's you. It's all spiritual. We just needed to remember. We, the eternal living souls, have performed blood over intent to band together for this inevitable return to the center, to the heart. The separation of matter and spirit will be no longer. Time will dissolve. Death and birth will cancel each other out. If this is your first video of mine, please go through past videos for an understanding and breakdown of every topic we've talked about in this one. I have videos on the Black Sun, on the Astral Light. I've broken down the myths of the Holy Grail, of Avalon, Shambhala, all to point the 144,000 in the correct direction. These myths aren't stories of gods out there. They are the story of us. We externalized the divine for so long because, like Sophia, we created a parasitic construct that mirrored back to us this very internal struggle. We needed to leave breadcrumbs in the form of stories, myths, and scriptures in order to form collective archetypes to remember ourselves. So make no mistake about it, what we are doing is nothing less than the ultimate weapon to dissolve this projection so we can set up a new one based in harmony. 1 year ago, I was told to spill my blood over the proclamation of being Hermes Trismegistus. I did not know why, but 1 year later it has come full circle. This past week, my videos have all been downloaded from the goddess herself. I have pledged to the mother goddess for all eternity to be her messenger. I am Hermes, Zeus's right-hand man, and messenger between gods. I was once known as Thoth, the keeper of the keys to Amenti. We are returning to the halls of Amenti within the goddess's heart. We are the eternal children, and she loves us so very much. We are her babies. There is nothing to fear. I am Hermes, messenger of the gods. Thank you for watching. I love you all.